All right, this is fun. Texas Democratic Convention, Corpus Christi, Texas. Bobby Pulido is here. So great to see you. Congratulations on your nomination.
Thank you.
How was you played last night?
I sang 2 songs, man. That's like I don't think I was even warmed up yet, right? a normal concert's like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did sing 2 songs though.
It takes like 2 songs to really get into the groove.
It does.
So you should have just hung on and kept going.
I would have liked to, but I think they had different things on the agenda.
Yeah. Oh well. Very good. So how does it feel? We talked to you early on. How does it feel to be the nominee? How does it feel? Tell me about the transition, which is a little, several weeks in the rearview mirror now. The transition from the primary situation to now it's kind of for real here.
It's the first time I'd ever run.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I had a really tough primary.
Yes, you did.
And I, at the time, I was like, I don't know why it shouldn't have been this tough. But steel sharpens steel.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to tell you something. Having a tough primary has prepared me for this moment now. It really has. And so as it is right now, I feel very, very, I'm not overconfident, but I feel we're in the game.
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
And I'm going to tell you something. Like, it is a statistical tie in the polls, right? And so I feel like when you go work it hard like we are, that will make the difference.
So the polling showing also a tie, Tallarico-Paxton.
Yep.
Coming out of the Republican convention in Houston a couple of weekends ago, anything but unity going on there.
Yeah.
Talk about Democratic unity, how you see it, how the effect of coming out of this event as a unified force will have on races down ballot from James Tallarico.
It's everything.
It's everything.
It is everything. We're going to need all hands on deck in order to flip this state and to make change, right? Really in the state of Texas. I'm telling you, you saw what happened in New York.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm probably on the opposite end of the spectrum of the Democratic Party from DSA, right? And it's okay.
Yeah, it totally is okay.
The people elected the representatives that they felt best would represent them in New York.
That's right.
And the people of South Texas do the same, even if they're not the same type of candidates.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we all have to work together for one common goal, and that's to help make people's lives better.
That's right.
And honestly, like, I do not see anybody as my enemy. I don't even think Republicans that are well-intentioned are my enemy. We all need to work together to make our country better. And that's just the bottom line. And so I will tell you one thing that I would like to see that, because I know there are mainstream Democrats maybe are a little bit alarmed by what you saw in New York.
I hope not.
Well,
but yeah. Okay.
I could see that, right?
Yeah.
But the one thing I can tell you is that I'm a firm believer in how they're organizing and how they're running.
Right on.
And I'm telling you that I don't believe in going out there and in the way of just running consultant-driven campaigns that are not talking to voters and not going out there on the streets and not really working it. I think we can learn a lot from that.
Absolutely.
And I think they've done more with less, and I think that's an admirable trait on how they campaign. And I think that's something that we have been doing since last year.
Right.
Which is going and talking to the voters,
right,
and it's not a social media thing. You can't win elections just by running commercials and TV ads, and sending mailers.
Well, you've been hitting the streets pretty hard.
I have absolutely gone to talk to voters, and it's the best thing that could have happened to me.
The quinceanera thing was just so cool.
We've done about 50 of them already.
I know,
right?
That's awesome.
We've done about 50 of them already, and so it's something that we're going to keep going, and we hope to do 100 by the time election day comes. And we're meeting voters where they're at.
Very cool. Very cool. Let's talk about those voters.
Yeah.
You're running in a part of the state, highly pivotal. Was highly pivotal in the last election from the opposite direction. So just a really volatile sort of situation in terms of the choices people are making at the ballot box. Give us a little bit for the voters in your district down there, specifically those who might have voted Republican in the last go-round. Might be tempted to stick to their guns on that. but are also seeing what's happened since that election.
Yes.
There's a historic amount of, at least from a polling perspective, people down there in South Texas who are changing their minds and are experiencing some regret. Talk to those people. I don't know how real that is. You tell me.
It is real. I think how we talk to people is very important. And when you go talk to people and say, like, see, this is what you voted for, you're never going to get them back, right? They will hunker down in their corner.
Right.
And I don't believe that way. I don't think that's the way to talk to people, right? It was a binary choice. I'm a songwriter and I'm a singer, right? If I write a song and I put all my heart and soul into it and the song does not have success, is it the people's fault or is it my fault and I need to write a better song? I need to write a better song.
Okay.
Right? And so if we lost on the messaging front last time, we need to learn from that and we need to be better. And I don't ever believe in blaming the voter.
I agree with that. Tell me about that change in messaging. What do you see as the fundamental shift?
I think it's real honest. Look, I'm not a politician, right? I'm a singer. And if there's one thing in music that you know is you got to know your audience.
Yep.
You got to be smart enough to know not to take a symphony to the dance hall.
Yep.
And sometimes I think that as Democrats, we tend to talk over people, right? In nerdy language, and we want to be right instead of talking to people and listening to them.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very important distinction that I've learned what works and what does not work. And, sometimes we can be too bogged down with policy.
Absolutely.
And the average person out there just wants to know that you have to fight for them.
Very good.
Right? And that message has to resonate that you, people, are the most important thing to me. It's not a political ideology or a party. It's you.
Right on. The people, absolutely. Let's close here by a message to the folks back home in the district. You're heading back there after you're done here. And
actually, tonight I have an event I'm going to a wedding in Sinton. Then I'll be heading to another place for. There's a concert going on with a lot of people that we're going to go meet.
Awesome.
And so look, we haven't stopped. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. Beto won my district in 2018 by almost 10 points.
Yep. That's right.
And how did he do it? By getting out there.
Yep. Working it.
By working it. And we're doing the same thing. I think we can learn a lot from that style of campaigning. And we're getting out there and talking to voters.
It's terrific. Watch for him. It's gonna be hard to miss Bobby Pulido out on the streets down there. Very, very cool. Thanks for making time.
Thank you, Chris.
Appreciate it. Awesome. Once again, at the Texas Democratic Party Convention in Corpus Christi, Texas, one of our very, very, very favorite people, Harris County Commissioner Lesley Briones is with us. Hello.
It's always great to be with you. Progress, Texas.
Yes.
We need to keep pushing that progress, and you all do it beautifully.
We are appreciative of you being here, not only because we're big fans, but also we see you hobbling in here on crutches.
Yes.
What has happened to you?
Yes. Well, I had a skiing accident over 20 years ago. I grew up on the border in South Texas, living check to check, so I do not know how to ski, but I had no fear and no skill, so I really fell down, and I've had 3 knee surgeries. They didn't work. I had the knee of a 75 to 80-year-old, so I just got a knee replacement.
Okay, well, good.
But I have a titanium knee, so now I will be sprinting, hopefully, very soon.
Well, you'll be setting off the metal detectors in the airport.
Every airport. They better watch out.
Yeah, they're going to think you're packing. Okay. So let's talk about what's going on in Houston. Can it just give us an update on what's happening in your world these days as we roll into the election season here?
Yes. Well, in Houston, Harris County, we're very focused on many things, but the main thing is knowing that the pathway to turning Texas blue, the pathway to getting Senator Talarico, Governor Hinojosa is through Harris County because we have about 25% of the vote share.
Absolutely.
So we are working tirelessly on voter registration, education, activation, already phone banking, knocking on doors, social media activation, all the things, because we need every single person to show up. And not only the Democrats, but we welcome everybody who wants leaders who will actually serve the people and deliver results.
Very, very good. And it still kind of blows my mind to think about the fact that Harris County has more people in it than over half of the states in the country.
Exactly.
Like I want to say 26 U.S. states have fewer people than Harris County has.
Harris County is bigger than 26 U.S. states. So on the official side, Democrats are delivering. We have a supermajority. We're delivering billions of dollars of flood mitigation projects, investing in public safety, creating jobs. We passed a $20 an hour minimum wage for Harris County employees. working on affordable housing, healthcare, and beyond. But we're showing up and we're delivering, and that's what everybody deserves.
Let's talk to lots and lots of folks in the smaller towns, the rural parts of Texas. We need those votes too.
Absolutely.
Those folks might have a little bit of difficulty relating to life in Harris County. What successes in Harris County and in Houston would a broader degree of Democratic control at the state level bring to people who are out in those parts of the state that haven't experienced that benefit?
Absolutely. And I take this very personally because I grew up in South Texas.
Yep.
And so I understand at some level, at the end of the day, what everybody wants, whether it's rural or urban, is they want a better life for themselves and their family. They want a good job. They want to be able to pay the rent. They want to be able to afford groceries. They want to have, hopefully, some free time. One job should be enough. So whether you live in Houston, Texas, or whether you live in rural West Texas, we can unite around the fact that we have pride in this great state of Texas, right? The Texas miracle is us.
Yes.
And so we need to be delivering this economic opportunity, education, healthcare, these basic fundamentals. And so we need every person.
Right.
And they may think, oh, well, your vote doesn't count. I have had friends who have lost an election by 1 vote,
Yes.
by 13 votes,
Sure.
by 67 votes,
That
and
happens a
every
lot.
vote counts.
Yes.
We need everybody active and voting and just making sure we have this multiplier effect and this momentum. But this is our year. We will be taking Texas back, and we look forward to building on the gains.
I'm feeling it. A lot of people around here seem to be feeling it. It's a really good, palpable, like solid sort of energy. One of the kind of the topics that's been floating around during the convention is the idea of unity. That we got to come out of this convention with unity. There have been instances in which we might not quite be there on a variety of different levels. There's talk about the terrific performance that we've seen out of the progressive wing in New York, maybe becoming the basis for some degree of tension during this convention between the more moderates and the more progressive types. Talk about unity. How do we achieve it? Why is it important? How do we get there?
Yes. Democrats, it's non-negotiable. We must unite. We need to be focusing on Trump and Paxton and Abbott and all of their cronies. Texas is not for sale. While we have a wonderfully big tent, we have a diversity of people and ideas, and I love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. But now is the time to be laser focused, deliberate, and disciplined, making sure that we get these people out of office and actually have leaders that we deserve. And so it's not the time to be debating amongst ourselves.
Agreed.
It is the time to be focused and disciplined. So I hope that every single Democrat, and again, we invite everyone else to become a Democrat too,
Sure.
right? We welcome everybody, and we need to show that respect of ideas and of people, the inclusion, right? There's no one way, but what I'm focused on is unity so we can actually win,
Right.
because that's what matters, is
Right.
making sure Paxton, we do not have a criminal as our senator,
Yeah.
that we actually have a Senator, Talarico, who will deliver for Texas.
Absolutely. Talk about down ballot voting.
Yes.
So Talarico clearly is by the trolls out on the street. They're freaked out by James Talarico. Clearly,
They're clearly.
which is really
we're
hilarious.
striking a nerve. They know we're coming for them. That's the thing.
It's really, really funny to see, and it's encouraging to see.
Yes.
Really, to me, that the fire has been lit for sure. But how do we get that fire to burn all the way down the ballot? How do we
Yes.
get people to understand that yes, they might be fired up about James Talarico, but there are many, many other terrific opportunities
Yes.
for voting for other Democrats down the ballot. How do we get that message across?
100%, Chris. Yes, we need everyone to vote all the way down the ballot. And as Harris County has the longest ballot in the nation,
Yeah.
I take this and I'm at the bottom of the ballot. But
Wow.
the truth is, the folks at the bottom of the ballot, they're the ones, literally commissioners, city council people, judges.
Right.
They're the ones filling your potholes so your tire doesn't blow on the way to work. They're the ones listening to your divorce or custody case. They're the
That's right.
ones investing in your local park. If your park's not mowed, those down ballot candidates can do something about it.
Yeah.
It is the everyday, day-to-day issues. We need everyone to vote down the ballot. Some people still think we have straight ticket. We don't. The Republicans
that's
took
right.
that from us.
That's right.
We need you to show your pride each and every race
Yeah.
and vote Democrats up and down the ballot, and Democrats will continue delivering, and we will be working to get the Texas we deserve.
It's so very satisfying to me. I'm kind of glad in a way. You know, the straight ticket thing was not really what we wanted, but I personally really enjoy every single one of those clicks all the way down I relish them. I do it kind of slowly and take my time and enjoy the moment.
I love it too. And my parents took me to vote when I was a little girl each and every time. It was a family tradition. I take my 3 little girls to vote.
Awesome.
And to me, we need to do that, right? Because at the end of the day, this is about our families and making sure they can live out their American dream and get the Texas they deserve. So please, everyone, vote. Energize all of your friends, family, neighbors, colleagues. It's up to all of us to take back Texas.
Very, very good. We are such big fans, and we appreciate your support so much. Harris County Commissioner Lesley Briones, take care of that knee.
Thank you.
How long till you're done with your
Should
PT?
we meet on a ski slope next time, Chris?
Sure. Let's go for a
the
jog.
momentum that we have might be a little too dangerous, but
Right
there's
on.
a lot of momentum around here.
Absolutely.
Yes. No,
Well,
thank you so
best
much
of luck
for
with
all
your
you
recovery.
do. Thank you.
Very
Bye.
good. Awesome. All right, this is good fun. Texas Democratic Convention, Corpus Christi. It's a bit of a whirlwind. Letitia Plummer's here. She will have to forgive me if I get a little bit loopy as we are talking here. Candidate for Harris County Judge, one of our favorite people, showed up at the party that we had as we got into town with the Texas Progressive Caucus, and I didn't get a chance to talk to you at all. So it's turning into that around here. Talk about the energy you're feeling in Corpus Christi during the convention, just in general. Everybody seems to be really having a great time.
Everyone is fired up.
Yeah.
Like they are really, you can feel it. Like you can just kind of feel it in the air. Everyone really wants change. All the caucuses have been full, like wall to wall, right?
Yeah.
Which means that people are engaged and they want to do the right thing this time around. I don't think they're going to I think we're going to do this thing. Like we're really going to do this thing. It feels great in here.
Yeah. I've been noting that at least most of the prior state conventions of this type, the Republican types didn't really pay a lot of attention, and it was almost beneath their notice. But now we have actually fairly well organized Tallarico trolling that's happening up and down the street here. Talk about that. We are under their skin, or James certainly is.
It's so weird. I saw these black vans, incognito, sprayed with really cheap black paint.
Yeah.
Going up and down with video
Very
screens.
homemade.
They're so homemade. They're like box cars. It's pretty ridiculous. They're desperate. They're so desperate.
I have to say I'm enjoying it. I don't mean to give them more oxygen than they deserve by even talking about them, but I just think it really is interesting, and I think it's indicative of the real momentum that's happening on the Democratic side. Do you feel that?
Absolutely, and I think that's why Harris County is so important.
Yeah.
It's really important for us to be at the bottom of the ballot, get all that grassroots movement going, get kind of work from the bottom and work our way up. If we do that, then the top of the tickets, they're going to be taken care of, right? And so, yes, I do feel that these precinct chairs are engaged. They're excited. They're ready to learn. Their new ones are being toured around by other precinct chairs. It's really cool.
A lot of young people here.
Yes.
Really cool.
It's been nice.
Very, very cool.
Refreshing.
How has, since you won in sort of surprise fashion, an upset for sure, how have things changed for you? Is there a lot more interest coming your way? What's that experience been like since that happened?
Yes, the money's coming our way, which I'm so happy about.
Good.
We were kind of gritty, and
scrappy.
we were scrappy. But we did good. We really confused a lot of people, and they're still trying to figure out how the hell did she win. But we'll keep that under our hat.
We understand
know.
how.
We know what happened. You start talking to people and fixing people's problems and listening to folks. That's how you win.
Absolutely, for sure. Talk a little bit about making sure that people understand that it's not just about Tallarico. The Republicans are very focused on Tallarico. Many people who have perhaps not up to this point considered themselves Democrats are also have noticed James Tallarico. So he's the center of focus. What's the message to people to look past that, to, of course, show up for James, but to move on down the ballot, to pay attention to candidates like you and anybody else who's down below that top race?
No, it's so true. And what I would really want to say is the people that actually physically fix your life, make changes in how you live and how you live and function, those are the local folks.
Right.
And so, Tallarico, when you're flooding and your home is flooding, you're not calling Tallarico's office. You're calling the county judge's office, you're calling the city of Houston, you're calling all of the local officials to fix the problems. And so, although it's important to get those resources and drive those resources down, it's really important to please vote down the ballot. Don't stop. I know it may be long, but just don't stop. We really need you down at the bottom. And this is the crazy thing. I'm top of the ticket in Harris County.
Yep.
And I'm still at the bottom of the ballot.
Right.
So if you don't keep on going, then you're going to miss opportunities to allow me to win and take that seat. And we were only 1 percentage points in the last election.
Yeah.
So I know we say Harris County's blue, but we got to work to keep it blue.
Right. I've talked about this, that like there's different voting machines from county to county. Of course, I'm in Austin, so the ones they use in Travis County have a really nice, satisfying kind of tactile click to them, click, click, click on the wheel,
yes.
and pushing the buttons to click, click, click. I've gotten where I really just kind of relish and slowly go down all my D's.
Yes.
Click, 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 and it's so wonderful. So
D's all the way down, y'all.
Get in there.
All the way down the ballot. Just D's, D's, D's.
One last thing. So unity has become a discussion. There are many different avenues by which that topic has come into this particular convention. The big win that's happened on the progressive wing in New York is something that's the center of conversation for a lot of people here. Talk about unity coming out of here, why it's important, how we achieve it. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I mean, and of course, for me, I'm having the conversations of faith and race. Right, those are the conversations that are coming my way.
Right,
and so I'm gonna touch on those just because those are what I experience.
Yeah,
regardless of what you are, who you are, it doesn't matter. You're still a resident of Harris County.
Right,
and we are all aligned now. Primaries are over. It is time to make sure that we win in November. And the only way that happens is if we put our differences aside and understand that regardless of what sex you are, regardless of what race you are, regardless of what age you are or religion you are, you don't want to flow when it rains. You want to make sure gas is affordable. You want to make sure you go to the grocery store, you can afford your groceries. I mean, the basic stuff that we need. You want to be safe and secure in specific areas, right? You want to be able to buy a house for your family if you can. And so we have to align on those. I call it my 80-20 rule. 80%. If you got 80% in the candidate and you like them 80%, go with it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the 20%. Yeah. We'll work that part out later.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love all that. Well, that's terrific. It's great to see you. Is there anybody who's speaking tonight who you're particularly fired up to see? Or what are you doing?
They have agenda for me that I don't even know anymore. They just drag me.
The team is behind the camera.
I'm looking at my team right now, and I'm like, where are we going now?
Who does she like? Does she like Bernie? What's going on? Yeah.
I will watch the entire deal. Oh,
what?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, I'm the big 5'6".
Okay. Are we gonna have to sing?
No. We don't have to sing every birthday, y'all.
I'm
the fourth time today.
I'm leaving it up to the team. Okay, we'll spare the singing for this time. But we are singing your praises.
We
really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Terrific.
Letitia
Plummer,
I love y'all.
Candidate for Harris County Judge. Kick some ass, man. Do it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for all your support. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to apologize in advance because it's kind of getting to be a little bit late in the afternoon.
Sure.
My brain has begun to freeze up. But I do have enough brain power left to understand that I'm really, really excited to be talking to State Senator Sarah Eckhardt of Austin, who also happens to be our Democratic nominee for State Comptroller, which is really, really cool. Tell us, and we've been trying to frame a lot of these conversations in very tangible terms.
Yes.
What changes for your average everyday Texan if you become the Comptroller? What's different?
When I become the Comptroller, the state money, the money that you pay the state, you can be guaranteed will be invested in you.
Right
and
on.
that's the big difference.
Like
and my opponent is a rich guy who's never had to answer to anybody.
Right.
Whereas I have managed billions in public assets.
Mm-hmm.
I've answered to the taxpayer for decades.
Right.
I prosecuted cases and made sure that nobody was above the law. This guy purchased the Epstein Ranch in New Mexico.
That is a trip, and I'm surprised that's not getting more traction than it is. This guy bought a ranch where Jeffrey Epstein did God knows what, and the state of New Mexico somehow slept on that for years and years and years and years, way beyond really any potential for any real investigation to happen there. And this guy, Don Huffines is his name, went in and bought this ranch, kept that quiet for a long time. It came to light, and where does it happen? That to me is explosive. It should be a lot more explosive than it is.
I'll tell you. So I decided to run for this office in late November, early December, because I really feel that we need to have a watchdog over our hard-earned tax dollars.
Sure.
It was a long shot to run for this office, but I threw my hat in the ring, and then 2 months later, it comes out that my opponent secretly purchased Jeffrey Epstein's crime scene.
you can't write this stuff.
Oh my gosh, it just goes to show you have no idea what's going to work in
Right.
democracy, but we've got to show up. We've got to show up and continue to tend the garden of democracy.
Right on.
Because you really don't know when lightning is going to strike. So we've got to put our lightning rods up. So.
Very, very good. So Senator Eckhardt is a statewide candidate, and which means you're on all the ballots.
That's right.
Which that's kind of wild. That's kind of fun. All the way across the state. That's pretty
It
interesting.
really is.
Yeah.
I didn't imagine I would run statewide, but I am so happy I did.
Oh, yeah.
Because
We are
all
too.
across the state, we're in a political realignment.
Yes, indeed. So talk about that. Well, let's come at it from the kind of the tone of the Texas Democratic Convention, in the midst of which we are currently standing, which has been very positive. A lot of positive energy, a lot of confidence, a lot of smiles, and just people really. I haven't seen a whole lot of anybody in the dumps about anything. It's been very, very positive for the most part. There has been talk about unity and
Yes.
making sure that there's unity coming out of this convention. There have been things that happened at the Senate race level that maybe have brought that unity conversation to the front. There have also been the results in New York with the progressive wing, the candidates endorsed by Mayor Mamdani doing really, really well, ousting other Democratic incumbents. So there's a churn going on ideologically within the party as well. Talk about those things, if you would, and how you see unity as why it's important, how do we achieve it, what does it mean?
Whenever you get more people involved, more active in politics, there is going to be discussions about unity.
Right.
And that's a really good sign. The fact that we're having these discussions indicate that we are pulling more people into the tent.
Right.
More and more people are trying on the Democratic label.
Right.
More and more people are saying, I want the Democratic label on my issue and on things that I care about. And we're finding that everybody wants a home that they can afford. Everybody wants a community to live in a community with a good public school down the street.
Right.
And everybody wants to have a hand in prosperity. We're finding far more in common than we have in differences. And that's pretty powerful all
Right.
across the state.
Right. We already kind of talked about the particulars of the Comptroller's race. Talk about how it's important to get down past the top. You know, the interest in Tallarico is huge. That's kind of the draw.
Mm-hmm.
And then convincing people that not only is he a good idea, but everybody who agrees with him on policy, more or less, below him on the ballot also is a great idea all the way across the board.
It is so important to get all the way down the ballot. And I have some friends who say, I don't want to vote for any candidates that I haven't done my research on.
And that makes sense.
And that makes sense, and I applaud that. And really, doing your research, talk to your friends who are involved, and you will find quickly who's your right flavor to vote for.
Right.
I'll take one example. I was over talking to some people about the historically underutilized business program.
Yeah.
And the acting comptroller got rid of the historically underutilized business program illegally. And so several of us got together and helped find some plaintiffs who sued the comptroller's office to get it reinstated.
Right.
Which shows how important it is to vote all the way down the ballot, including our judges.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it was a judge
Yeah.
who reinstated that historically underutilized business program, and
Right.
God love her.
The courts and the judges, that's something that is also sadly under discussed, I would say.
Absolutely. And as a former prosecutor and as a former county judge, we really do have to have, we have three branches of government: the legislative, the executive, and the judicial branch. The executive branch gets all of the hype. And the legislative branch gets a pretty fair amount of hype. But really, our judicial branch, we must have a strong and independent judiciary, so vote all the way down the ballot.
Right. So being in a statewide race, you're you're campaigning statewide.
Yes.
Tell us about, and this is a little bit of a rim shot question here. Are there places in Texas that you may have been less familiar with before you did this that you're glad you know more about now? Places that you've discovered out in Texas that you're glad you did?
So I'm an East Texas and Central Texas girl. I was born and raised, on the edge of the Piney Curtain.
Yeah.
In Spring, Texas, and in Houston, Texas. And then I moved to Austin, went to law school, and got my master's in public affairs, and have lived in Central Texas. And most of my family was originally from Houston and the Austin area.
Right.
But I'll tell you, what was a real surprise to me was going up to Amarillo, up in the Panhandle.
Ah.
I went up there to do an event, and I figured it was going to be smallish. Oh my God, there were like 85 people there.
Nice.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing all over West Texas, from Amarillo all the way down to El Paso, saying you got to come back. People are excited. We really are in a realignment. People are no longer wanting to consider themselves Republicans.
Right.
They might not be ready to call themselves Democrats yet,
Yeah.
but they're ready to vote for something else because
Right.
they know
Right.
that things don't get better until we vote for a change.
Absolutely. And so many of the John Cornyn voters, for example, who, the Republican convention a couple of weeks ago, they did nothing to really try to reach out to those people at all. So I feel I think there's going to be a lot of folks out there who are just used to pulling the lever for the R that are rethinking that decision this time around. I really hope that that's the case.
Now, I know we're at the Democratic convention, and so this might be a little spicy to say,
Yep.
but I'll say this to any Republicans out there who are watching this: you don't get your party back until you vote Democrat.
That makes sense. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. The Democratic Party has a clean ticket, a very competent ticket,
Right.
a ticket that is experienced and can actually govern. The Republican ticket is a dirty ticket.
Yeah.
And the Republicans have shown in the Ken Paxton impeachment trial that they're incapable of taking out their own trash. So
Right.
the only way Republicans will get their party back. I'm a big believer in a two-party system. I don't think one-party rule is good for us, whether it's Republican or Democrat.
Agreed.
We don't get a two-party system back until Republicans vote Democrat. They can
Right.
go back to voting Republican when their party starts producing good candidates.
They need to remember that they have the power ultimately.
That's
That and there maybe have been a little bit of sleep at the switch while the drama and the theater has unfolded on the other side.
Listen, blind loyalty is not good for us.
Right. Agreed. Awesome. Anything else? What's coming up next for you guys? Are you doing anything interesting right out of the convention?
I hear that the governor is in town.
Governor Abbott is here.
I hear he's in town trying to throw cold water on our convention. So I
Governor
thought
Abbott is in Corpus Christi right now?
I'd go down there and see what's up with that.
Dude,
Uh-huh.
I hadn't heard this.
You heard it here first.
You're
babe.
hearing it here first. Wow, what a trip. See, I thought JD Gins is sitting over here. I thought that the Tallarico taco thing was like an overreaction by the Republicans, but the freaking
clearly.
governor is rolling into town.
I know. You can tell they're concerned.
They're flipping out. That's right. That's right.
Oh, no. Okay, can we talk about that for a
Yeah.
moment? Because somebody came up to me with a little squeaky poo toy. and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, I see, you're a Republican. And then she started talking to me, and
Right.
I was more than happy to talk to her.
Did she know who you were?
Well, I'm
Well, you're
wearing a
wearing your
name
stuff,
tag.
yeah, okay.
I hope so.
Yeah, okay.
So we had a kind of interesting conversation. She said, you want to just take all of our money and redistribute it to people, and the services should be for taxpayers. And I said, your children aren't taxpayers.
That's right.
And she said, well, that's a bad example, like immigrants. And I said, well, hold up, let's stick with children for a moment. Don't you think we should fund our public schools? We do fund our public schools.
No, you don't.
And I said, do you think that we should have 130 public schools closing across the state of Texas and siphon off $1 billion to $5 billion to private schools? And she's like, that's completely different. And I said, how do
my
you feel
God.
about corporate tax breaks and no bid contracts? Those are pretty sucky too, right?
Withering. That's great.
I don't like corporate tax breaks. Well, good. Who's giving those corporate tax breaks?
People need to choose their battles more wisely, I would say, out on the streets of Corpus Christi. They turn into mean streets when the Dems are in town, so be careful.
One thing we did agree on was that the greatest endeavor that human beings have ever engaged in is figuring out a way to appropriately share responsibility so that we could build greater prosperity.
Of course.
And we agree on that.
So this conversation ended up nice.
I think so.
Good.
I
like
gave her
it.
my lit and said, please consider me.
I think you may have scored a voter.
I hope so.
Terrific.
I hope
Terrific.
so.
Awesome. See, that's the way I want to punch, but there's like a lot of folks of much greater degree of experience than me know how to be suave about it and smooth, and I appreciate that.
I think we can find some common ground.
Yeah.
I think that we truly can solve our problems.
Right
I don't
on.
want to be told what to think or where to pee or how to pray. I want to be told how we can solve our water problems.
I like it. I like it all. Sarah Eckhardt is your statewide candidate for the Office of Comptroller in Texas, statewide. She will be on your ballot if you're voting in Texas, and she's so cool. Thanks for coming.
You're so cool.
No,
We're
you.
So cool.
No,
Democrats
you.
Are so
No,
cool.
you.
No, really.
Okay, it's 2 for the price of 1. Texas Democratic Party Convention 2026, Corpus Christi, Texas. Over here, we have Tarrant County Democratic Party Chair Alison Campolo,
Hello, everybody.
whom I am meeting for the first time,
In person.
not through a screen.
Yes.
And will you give us a karate demonstration? Is it? Ooh. Okay. And returning, Kevin Burge, Congressional candidate, District 24.
That's it. Hello.
What's happening, guys? How are y'all?
Staying busy, loving Corpus Christi so far, trying to stay cool. And this is a lot of energy. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Very good. Talk about energy at this particular event so far.
It's enormous. The main problem that we've been experiencing is every single event is packed to the gills.
Yes.
And you can't get in. You're sweating because you're like this everywhere.
Yep.
It's just like our Democratic primary. You guys remember that?
Yep.
So great problem to have.
Yep. It is it's better than the opposite problem. It's difficult to get a beer in that situation too, which is heartbreaking. Depending on the
Just
situation.
have to make up for it later.
That's right. Absolutely. Patience pays off for sure.
Yes.
So, Kevin, over to you. Talk about how the campaign's going. We've talked to you several times. Progress Texas endorsee, of course, which is proudly so. What's next for you coming out of the convention? What's happening between here and November?
So we're back at the doors. We'll be knocking doors just like we did through the runoff. We're keeping it going, building that field game. We're also going to be hosting a town hall. We're getting that scheduled as well.
Okay.
But since our current representative does not do town halls or meet with their constituents,
Yep.
we're going to pick up that mantle.
We're talking about Beth Van Dyne.
That's it.
Why would Beth Van Dyne not do town halls?
The same reason no Republicans do. It's because their policy, they have no way to win. They have no way to reach people and make good impacts in communities based on their policy. And so instead of meeting with people, they shy away, they hide like the cowards they are. And by and large, they cheat, and that's how they win. So they're continuing that trend. We're meeting with the public.
Right on. Alison, as they say, as Tarrant County goes, so Texas goes. How's it going in Tarrant County?
Oh, we're going to flip this county. We're going to flip this county so hard. And we are the last red urban county in the United States. And
Right.
I met my Big Five county chair counterparts yesterday, and I realized I was the only large county in Texas to not have a single countywide elected Democrat. And 2026 is the year we're going to change that. We have a full ballot. We have tons of voters. We have tons of energy. The party has more money than ever before, more precinct chairs than ever before, more volunteers than ever before, and more cohesion, collaboration, coordination ever before. And this will be our year.
Right on. We've been spending as much quality time as we can with Elisa Simmons lately.
Awesome. Good choice.
Talk about other races in Tarrant County that just are turning you on.
So we have our big two in Tarrant County are Lisa Simmons for county judge and Tiffany Burks for district attorney.
Right.
Because if we can flip our commissioner's court and our district attorney's office, we have a shot at justice and good leadership. But we have so many flippable races. Katie Duzan at HD94, Ebony Turner in HD96, Beth McLaughlin at HD97. A ton of our House districts are extremely flippable, extremely tangible in this very competitive field. And of course, our congressional districts, we're going to flip 24, to say the least. And so we have a lot of really exciting races coming up.
Right on. Back to Kevin, who needs that down ballot momentum to really carry down from James Tallarico on down the list. How does unity coming out of this event affect the way people vote on down the ballot? What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's time to really be focused. We need to make sure that we are keeping an eye on winning first and foremost. Once we do that, once we have power back in the hands of the people, then we can resolve any differences that we may have. So it's really important to make sure that we are showing unity coming out of this event, bringing it into the field, bringing it right to the doors, and letting people know that Democrats stand for working families here in Texas.
Same question. Talk about unity. What needs to happen within the party, the broad big tent, what needs to happen to achieve real unity and real solidarity coming out of this?
I think we all have to be very intentional about our choices and that collaboration, that unity, but I want to shout out that I'm so encouraged to see that unapologetic progressivism is leading the charge. We just saw that in New York City again.
Right.
Over and over and over again, we're seeing progressive policies win big with voters. We don't want people to run based on pollsters. We don't want elected officials to try to, collaborate with a Republican and go to the other side. We want people who stand up for the community, and I'm really excited to say our candidates are doing that, and that's how we get unity, is by having candidates who are excellent, who are standing up for their community and for their voters and not just being willing to give it away at any second. Our candidates are here to stand up for their voters, and that's bringing the unity to the party.
Fantastic. Kevin, last, I want to actually give you a chance to thank people who have been the important people who have helped you do what you've done, which is become a congressional nominee.
Absolutely. First and foremost, my family, my wife, my son, they were there for me the whole way, and couldn't do it without them. But of course, my campaign staff as well, Brody, Alex, Hunter, and Tara, our intern, just quality, awesome people all around. And then of course our volunteers, absolutely amazing people, hitting doors, going out there in the heat or the cold, it didn't matter. They were out there meeting with people. Of course, Democratic groups in the area are absolutely awesome and motivated people. The precinct chairs, the county party, everybody is here with one goal in mind, and that's to make change in our country. And of course, Progress Texas, thank you guys for everything you did. Yep. And we're going to keep it going on through the general.
You're welcome. Alison, here's an off-the-wall question.
Oh, boy.
If I were to learn one martial arts move to defend myself, what's the easiest and most effective move for the average person to learn how to do?
Okay, amazing question, amazing off-the-wall question. My most effective, easiest move, if you're going to win a fight, is to buy them a beer.
I love it.
Avoid violence.
I'm
an expert. I'm a heavyweight champion in the ring. I can punch you in the face, but let's choose not to. Choose not to.
Choose peace.
Choose peace. Let's buy them that beer. And then make fun of them on Twitter later. But
Excellent. See, I was going to have you do this move on Kevin.
Oh, okay.
So it's
she can buy me a beer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That move still stands. It's good. Hey, I want to say one more thing about unity, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I want to shout out, because what you said really jogged my mind. I want to shout out how successful and why it was so successful when we elected Senator Ramette. So not only did every campaign suspend their own campaign to walk for Senator Ramette, but and his own campaign, of course, worked so hard. He's an excellent candidate.
That's right.
Of course. Everybody came in for that race, and that was such a good example of what this coordinated campaign needs to look like from now to November, and what it is looking like, right? So to get Senator Ramette elected, of course, the State Democratic Party, the Texas Majority PAC came in, this county party came in, all of our candidates came in, but county parties from around the state came in, allied organizations from around the state came in, and everyone worked together in such a cohesive way, and so many people worked together that I can't even name them all in a short time, but that's the kind of cohesion. It was a dream, and this is the cohesion we need to take to November, was that working together.
Awesome. Marching orders. Love it. It's Tarrant County Democratic Party Chair Alison Campolo, City 24, Congressional candidate Kevin Burge. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, once again, Texas Democratic Convention, Corpus Christi, Texas. Evan Hunt is here. Hi, Evan Hunt.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
I'm great. Evan is running for Congress, as we've talked about on multiple occasions, running against Keith Self up in the kind of northeastern sort of the state. Talk about the district.
Yes,
It gets into the Dallas area a little bit, but it's a lot more not.
It does, yeah. Texas's 3rd district, just north of Dallas, stretches east from East Plano through McKinney, Allen, Wiley, Saxe, Murphy, out to Greenville, Sulphur Springs, and Mount Pleasant. So it's about 1 million people. It's about 50% white, one of the fastest growing districts in the entire country, one of the most affluent, educated districts in the entire country, not to be represented by a Democrat, and I'm here to change that. Right on, right on.
Talk a bit about the convention itself. The energy has been palpable. There are discussions of opportunity. There's discussions of polling, especially as it comes to the Tallarico-Paxton matchup. The excitement that comes from that we hope will cascade down the ballot in a lot of different places, benefiting candidates such as yourself. How are you seeing the vibe of the convention so far in terms of, what's coming next?
Oh, I can feel the energy, right? James Salarico says he can feel it in his bones that we're going to win in November. I feel it in every room I'm in. So I got a chance to speak at the Veterans Caucus, the Rural Caucus, the Education Caucus, and the Muslim Caucus. Everybody's fired up. Yep. Everybody's ready to turn, frankly, my district blue, but all Texas blue, and that's the change we need in November.
Very, very good. So once again, your district, a lot of rural area. Out in East Texas. Last time we talked, you talked about spending a lot of good, fun time out there.
Yeah, a lot of road trips out east through the land of leaning telephone poles. And you know what's funny? When we first got redistricted, and they added 5 rural counties to the district, I thought people out east would care about different things than people in the suburbs.
Yeah.
And what's been amazing to me is everybody cares about the same things. They care about healthcare reform, strong public schools, immigration reform to treat people with dignity and respect, AI regulation, keeping data centers out of our community public resources without appropriate review, and lastly, a comprehensive anti-corruption agenda, which we've heard James talk about as well.
For sure. We have been trying to keep our, there's so much to cover, but we've been trying to keep our focus as much as we can on tangible results. What happens if there is a switch at a particular office or whatever,
Yes.
Talk about that to the folks who might be listening in your district. What sort of a tangible change can they expect should you end up beating Keep Self coming up in November?
Well, I'll give you a great example. So, there's a new affordable housing bill that just passed.
Right.
Keith Self was one of the 34 House reps that voted against it.
Okay, wow.
And that was a bipartisan affordable housing bill.
Sure.
Made tons of sense, overwhelming support from the House and the Senate. And when Trump came in and actually refused to sign it until they moved forward with the SAVE Act, Keith Self championed that. So, I tell people half the job of a representative or half the job of a leader, it doesn't matter if you're in the family, in the military, in business, setting the right example and advocacy for the right things. Keith Self cares about nothing but passing pronoun laws with culture wars, spreading nonsense about anti-Sharia his anti-Sharia caucus, and, frankly, trumpeting Trump. And it is time to get back to representatives serving the people of their district. A tangible thing would be normally a congressperson brings home $10 to $20 million a year of taxpayer dollars back to their district, and Keith hasn't brought home anything. Right. So we've got tons of problems. Power, water, infrastructure, transportation. There's no reason we can't have light rail stretching from McKinney to Greenville and befitting of our growth. There's no reason that we should have public schools and healthcare centers shutting down in such an affluent area. But that's what we've got at the moment because we've got leaders who aren't doing their jobs.
Same thing happened in Austin for sure. So let's drill down a little bit into that Sharia thing, and this first time I've thought about this, walking around this hall is everybody, every different type of person, every different, every shade, every creed, every age, everything. Everyone is here. It's a big tent. It's really quite remarkable, the level of diversity that's achieved in this particular room and at this particular event.
Absolutely.
Contrast that with the Republican convention that just happened a couple of weeks ago in Houston, where they literally were on microphones, much like we are right now, telling Muslim people to leave.
Absolutely.
I mean, square that. And I know Keith Self is a guy that's deeply involved in that sort of a talking point. It's amazing to me that that's actually, people are saying this out loud anywhere, but it is happening.
I totally agree. America's superpower is its melting pot. Guys like Keith Self are trying to mess with our melting pot. They're trying to mess with our immigrant heritage and the fact that diversity is one of our greatest strengths. And they're messing with constitutional rights and protections like the freedom of religion and the freedom of speech. What this is really about with a guy like Keith is the politics of division and distraction that people are really tired of, right? They're scapegoating communities instead of working on real issues. When you can't talk about healthcare in public schools, you just blame other people. They did it first with illegal immigrants, and now they're on to Muslims. And I believe an attack on one is an attack on all, and injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere.
We're getting shots in on the gay community too, but let's
absolutely,
it's just anybody,
one after another.
It's and that really is an interesting way to put that. That when you notice that there's this meanness that's crept into their messaging. When it's about who we're against this, we're against these people, we're against these people, it's because they've run out of ideas. It's because they have no idea how to govern. They have no idea how to actually improve the lives of the people that have been accustomed to voting for them. And so now they're just going to scare them into continuing to vote for them it's as weak as it can be.
Yeah, it's well, James says it's the oldest trick in the book, divide and conquer.
Yes.
I think sadly it's learned behavior. MAGA Republicans learned they could get elected by scapegoating entire communities.
Yeah,
and they're not interested in working for regular people, working for the 99%. They're interested in working for special interests and big billionaires that have infected our politics, and that's what we end up with, division in our community when our leaders should be uniting us.
Right. So let's pull it all together. Keith, let's do one more address to the folks back in the district as we wrap up, how they get a hold of you and where to expect you, and what are you going to be doing between now and November?
Thank you so much. So Evan Hunt at electevanhunt.com. You will see me in every corner of the community. If you need me, send me an email at ehunt@electevanhunt.com. I believe in showing up for you and showing up for people, especially the people that are being marginalized. And I believe that if I show up for you, you'll show up for me in November. 5 months away from the most important elections of our lives, 5 months away from the most winnable elections we've had in decades in Texas. Let's do this together. I appreciate you.
Very nice. You've done that before.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Where's Joe Des Hotel when we need him?
Where is Joe? Joe, are you out there? It's time for you to come home.
We know you're out there somewhere.
Joe Des Hotel.
Yep.
He's got daddy duty.
Yep. Well, so do you.
I know. How about my kids?
My daddy duty's almost over. My kids are almost out of here.
Yeah.
We're digressing, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are here at the Texas Democratic Convention in Corpus Christi 2026.
Yep.
And I'm here with J.D. Gins.
Yes, sir.
Who is a very important person in my life because he was a big part of my first podcasting work that I ever did.
Yeah.
Which was the thing back in the day called Left in Texas.
Yes, maybe that's got to rise again.
I know. Okay. So there's a guy named Joe.
Yeah.
Who's in hiding now.
Yeah.
Who was it was his podcast, really.
Yeah. We were just guest stars.
We were just hanging out.
Yeah.
And then later on, there was a young lady named Carrie Collier Brown who came along.
Uh-huh. She's doing big stuff, too.
She's Carrie, you may know. She's not in hiding. Carrie is one of the Muckety Mucks, one of the originators of Texas Blue Action.
Yep.
A bunch of pissed off suburban moms down in southwest part of Austin.
Yep.
So
doing the relational app.
Right.
Get out the vote. Find out which one of your friends and neighbors need the reminder.
Yep.
Turn them out. Good program.
Right. It's
go to Blue Action. Help them out.
I have gotten some flack because I think of the Reach app as a way to hassle people.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's fun. It's like it's a passive aggressive thing.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just weird like that.
Yeah. Well, if you have a friend who's not voting in this election cycle, they deserve to be harassed a little bit.
That's right.
You need to give them a little ribbon. Get out there. Let's go.
That's right. So JD, back at that time, was very much a playa in the craft beer game.
Yes.
And one of the cool things about Left in Texas was we basically treated that podcast like a tour of all of the Austin area craft breweries.
Yep.
And so there were many, many beers consumed.
Yep.
And lots of very nice people met in that community.
Yep.
JD has since moved back into politics.
That's correct.
From which he was prior to his life as a beer slinger, which you're now with the Texas AFL-CIO.
I'm with the Fair Shot PAC, which works to elect the endorsed candidates of the Texas AFL-CIO.
Okay.
So we're a general purpose PAC. The candidates that have earned the labor endorsement starts at their local level from their local unions, becomes a state endorsement, and those are the candidates that we work to elect up and down the ballot, primarily focused on the state house races, but also we're looking at some county judges. Tarrant County, Alyssa Simmons, very important race.
Yep, we're big
Heather
fans.
Jeffs in Williamson County.
Yep.
And then about a dozen or so house races that we're working closely with right now to make sure they got a solid foundation. I've been saying you got to wax the surfboard so you can catch the wave, right? And so
baby.
a big part of what we're trying to do is help people catch the wave.
I like it.
Get on the wave that James Talarico and Gina Hinojosa are making. And it's important. In 2018, we picked up 12 house seats
on
the Beto year. There used to be, in that year, there was down ballot straight ticket voting. There's not that anymore.
Right.
So a big thing we all have to work on is people are going to come out, I think very strongly, are going to come out for James. They're going to come out for Gina.
Yes.
We want to make sure that they keep going down the ballot, vote blue all the way, get our state house elected, help us win some of these county commissioner races.
Right.
A lot of great people running right now.
From the perspective of the union, from the perspective of labor unions everywhere, Why is that important? What are the tangible differences that working people in Texas can expect with a new crop of leaders who are, tuned in to the labor union thing?
Absolutely. Well, I can't say that I speak for anybody other than myself on this, but I think it's important that we have pro-worker candidates in the state house. When you think about Texas being a right-to-work state, that means it's a right to bust the union state. I heard it in the labor caucus. Somebody stood up and said a right-to-starve state. And when you think about when you think about the work that happens at the Capitol, often the workers seem to be an afterthought, right?
Right.
People who work day to day, real Texans. And I think there's been a real challenge for the Democratic Party at large, the progressive movement at large, that kind of drifted away from the brass tacks of kitchen table issues. How much money people make? Can they afford to put their kids through sports and participate in their community? Or are they just struggling to get by? And so I think it's interesting. Right now you see a lot of the candidates are coming back to what has always been the worker first message of unions. And so you got a lot of really talented people running, and it's just almost a back to basics thing, right? We can't get lost in the malaise of name calling and trolling that has become the Republican Party.
Right.
And we want to elect people who are going to actually stand up for workers. And so if folks get the union endorsement, I can go out and help them.
Very good. So it's very much been, and it may be just something that I kind of noticed in this cycle. There's always been a union, component to politics, in America. But this year it seems like the unions are really kind of very much more in vogue, or more kind of prominent in the conversation than they have been in some years past.
Yeah, well, I think part of that is because rather than have people run for office who say they're pro-union, why don't we put union members running for office?
Right.
When you get a union member elected to office, you don't have to go and educate them on the issues that workers face. They know the issues that workers face.
Right.
So there's been a very concerted effort to put pro-union and actual union members forward, and I think that's just the tip of the spear. Hopefully, over the future cycles, more people come out, sign up from the shop floor to the house floor, right? And if they take the time to get organized in their community, we know they can run a campaign. So rather than find people who say they're pro-union, let's put an actual union member into elected office.
Right on. Very good. So probably the marquee union victory of recent times has been Taylor Ramette. The huge victory up in Tarrant County.
Absolutely.
Talk about that and maybe a few of the other union-oriented candidates or office holders now that you guys are excited about.
Well, we have Taylor Ramette. That's absolutely the biggest one right now for us.
So he's the first. What's the title? He's the first.
He was a
union member.
He was a president of his local.
Okay.
And he was from the Lockheed Martin plant. So if you think about that in Tarrant County, that's a huge employer.
Yeah.
And so he's 33 years old.
Yeah.
Put his name on the dotted line. It's funny because Dan Patrick said, I guess we had to swear him in, but he's not actually doing anything. And he actually has already opened his office. There's already been great feedback that he's engaged in the community in the way that his contemporaries on the Republican side just never took it seriously.
Right.
So I guess when you are a Dan Patrick acolyte, you don't actually do anything in the off season.
Yeah.
But he really is working hard to get out in the community. But if you look at it, that was a district that Trump won by 17 points.
Yeah.
He won it by 15 points.
Yeah.
That's a 30-point swing.
Yeah.
And so when you look at there's so much you can unpack there. There's very prominent Hispanic precincts there, that some of those swung back 40 points. So if you're looking for an early barometer of what ICE has done to fire up the Hispanic communities in Texas, look at that race.
Right.
And then you look at the meddling that his opponent, Lee Wamsgams, has been doing. She's that woman from Patriot Mobile.
Yeah, she's a trip.
And they were basically meddling in all the school boards. Not only did she lose this, but all her candidates lost in their recent school board races.
Right.
But those precincts, Keller ISD, they lost. They swung 30 points.
Yeah.
But then you look out to there's lots of just open, red, quasi, rural, almost suburban precincts. Just what you would think of as just Trump country. Those precincts swung 17 points.
Yeah.
So you see it across that district, indications, glimmers of why the Republican Party is so scared right now.
Yeah.
They know that they've seen it. In 2018, some of these House seats swung almost 18 points and just narrowly lost by 1 point. Yep. So they know that this is brewing below the surface. That's why they're out here trying to troll us all right now.
Yeah.
You know, in the old days, they wouldn't come to our conventions because they thought, why give them any press?
Right, or beneath
yeah,
their
but now
notice.
they got to come out and they got to give us tacos or bring bulls or do whatever they're doing.
Let's talk about this a second. There was as we pulled up to the convention, there was a black taco truck sitting out there that had a great big sign on it that said Tallarico's Tacos.
Yeah.
And Kathleen, our executive director, and I were driving past that, and we were a little bit hungry.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we need tacos. No, well, no, we don't have time. We're just in a really big hurry.
Yeah.
Which is the only reason we didn't stop there. And apparently they were giving out like empty tortillas that were like the Tallarico's empty promises or some crap like that. So there is trolling active, and kind of expensive. They're going to a lot of trouble to do this stuff.
When your record is empty, all you have is trolling. We're in Corpus Christi. This is a town that Greg Abbott put up for sale. They're running out of water because we have a huge petrochemical plant here gobbling up the water, and Greg Abbott, trying to force the people of Corpus Christi to pay for a desalinization plant.
Yeah. That may not even work.
May not even work,
Yeah.
but also is meant to help a corporation.
Yeah.
And he wants to put it on the taxpayer's dime.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is just another example of the Greg Abbott corruption tax. And he's been doing it for 12 years. So when you have 12 years in office, if the best you can do is go and mock the Democrats by giving them tacos for free, you're out of ideas, right? It's not really that good because the record itself is not something they should be proud of.
Right.
The schools are suffering. Since the time of Ann Richards, we used to be at a top 10 state for education.
Yeah,
now we're
40
45th,
something like that,
46. Nothing that we should be proud of.
No, absolutely not.
And so the buck stops with them. I was just, it'll probably be on something that I couldn't help myself. I had to go talk to the trolls over there.
You did?
Oh, yeah, I couldn't help it. You know me. I couldn't help it. So I'm sure they're going to slice it together and make
Tell me about it.
Oh, man, they were crazy because I was talking to them. I want to go see the cow. And I was asking them, you're here peddling this when you support Ken Paxton, the guy who actually stole somebody's pen and had to apologize to them, whose own staff, and they're like, well, that wasn't ever proven. And this lady was like, she was so mad at me. And I'm like, this is just a fact, right?
Yeah.
So this is just what we're dealing with now. People who are so bought into the right-wing propaganda that just common sense. They don't see this rejection of trolling politics coming their way.
Yeah. All right. We're here with Rodney Lee, who is a candidate for JP.
We're in Tarrant County.
Tarrant County.
Precinct 4, that's correct.
Right on. Okay, now I don't know the precinct map. Is this Fort Worth? Is this another part of the county?
So it's the northern sector of Tarrant County, which includes a portion of Fort Worth, but it also includes Saginaw, Lake Worth, White Settlement, River Oaks.
Very good.
That area there in Azle, yes.
Very, very good. Very good. So tell us about what you seek to accomplish with this role should you win the election.
So one of the things that we've accomplished and that we're doing on an annual basis, one is that the fact that we are more community-based, and so we've done just an extraordinary job with actually meeting the needs of those constituents. One of the things that we're doing on August the 8th is we're actually serving 300 families, which means it's probably going to be about 1,000 or more people.
Right.
We're serving them with food, diapers, school supplies, because Lake Worth was taken over by TEA. And as a result of that, we're now been afforded an opportunity to bring 2 18-wheel trailers full of all the things that I just mentioned to you. So, we're doing some amazing things for our citizens.
Very, very good. Talk about your particular part of Tarrant County. What do the folks there need out of the JP? Like, talk about the particulars of the folks who live in that part of the county.
Okay, because that area handles truancy, I've got well over 30 years of experience in truancy.
Yeah.
That area is, for lack of better words, it's facing some financial difficulties from this particular. 51% of the persons who are living in that area, they are actually laborers.
Oh.
And so what I tell persons is that we're trying to change the paradigm of everything. We're trying to introduce, if you will, night court, because it gives affordability for everybody to come and be represented and to hear their legal disputes. That court deals with law-abiding citizens that need to have their legal disputes heard. And then it also deals with evictions. Well, one of the things that we're doing is that we're coming in and we're actually educating. I tell people that we're neither landlord or tenant friendly, we're justice friendly. But how can you get justice when you don't understand the law?
Right. Absolutely.
So that's what we're doing.
Very, very good. Talk about the convention so far. A lot of excitement, a lot of optimism.
It's been absolutely amazing, to be quite honest with you. I've met people from all over, and the one reoccurring theme is that we all want to see representation. That's been going on, and it's been amazing. It's like we've met old friends. Is basically what it's come down to.
I love it.
It's been awesome.
Very, very good. Talk a little bit about, we all want unity. There's a lot of talk about unity, what that means, how we get to it. Give us your view on what needs to happen in order for Democrats to come out of this convention as a truly unified force and really, really do well from the top of the ballot all the way down in November.
So one of the things that we do, we have a mantra that we serve beyond the bench. And so it has to get to a point where we're actually, as elected officials and those who are actually seeking to serve as elected officials, we have to get our listening ears back on because we're representing the people. The people are the ones who put us in these offices.
Right.
And so as such, I need to be able to listen to what they're saying because I can have a great idea. Well, it's great to me until I put it to the litmus test and find out, oh, you know what, that might not have been all that good. So it has to get back to we're actually representing the people and listening. That's one of the biggest things that we do. We're having actual active conversation with citizens who are going to put me in this office.
Right on. Awesome. Rodney Lee running for JP Precinct 4.
Rodney Lee running for Justice of the Peace Precinct 4.
That's right. In Tarrant County. Thanks for coming by. It's great to meet you.
And let me just give my website for any of those who are listening.
Please do.
Please, by all means, visit rodneyleeforjop.com. or email me at rodneyleeforjop@gmail.com. Real easy, isn't it?
Excellent. JOP.
JOP.
Right.
That's it.
Very
yes,
important.
sir. So it's a pleasure speaking with you.
Yes, sir. You too.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye-bye. Appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. That was good. Once again, congressional candidates, all sorts of nominees, all sorts of movers and shakers and people who are looking to make a difference in Texas and across the country. We have yet another congressional candidate, Danny Minton, running for the U.S. Congress. Hello, Danny.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. We've not met before.
Nope.
But you walked up talking about how much you love our product, which is really nice.
I do. I sit in the car, and the first podcast that comes on my list is always your podcast.
Tell us, do tell us about us. Tell us about what do you get out of Progress Texas that helps you through your day?
It is so hard to stay informed on what is going on, especially within state politics, from watching regular news. And so I find that I just get educated in the morning and a little bit pissed off too, but I get educated, which is the most important thing.
Yeah. We're not really trying to anger people, and that's something that
you're not doing the angering.
we actually get a little bit of criticism about that it's, it's bad news. Why is it bad news? Well, frankly, we're the minority party in this state.
Yes.
We want there to be changes, and so we focus sometimes on the things that we would like to change.
Enlightenment can be scary.
Yes, right. The facts can be frightening for sure. So tell us about your particular race, your particular district.
Okay.
What do those people want? What do they need?
Well, my race is in District 6, which is basically the middle of the entire DFW Metroplex.
Okay.
So Irving all the way down to Mansfield, Burleson, and then all the way out to Waxahachie and Corsicana. Incredibly gerrymandered district. But it went from a district that a Republican would always win to a very vulnerable district in this year.
Let's talk about that. We're talking about the redistricting situation.
Yes.
What was the point shift?
So
with the old
it
index?
was an R31.
Yeah.
I've heard people tell me it's as low as an R6 now. So it's gone from an impossible race to a close race.
Okay. So that makes you one of those perfect examples of someone who is going to benefit from people completing their entire ballot.
Yes, down the ballot. That's my shirt, actually. It's my down the ballot shirt.
Right, let's see it.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's the order of the first four, and we just need to keep on going after that.
Right, keep on going. Absolutely. That's totally great. Tell us about how that happens. What's the function of this event, the Texas Democratic Convention? what comes out of this event that persuades people that the Democratic plan is the better plan all the way down the ballot?
That's a great question. I'm getting ready to learn myself. I am here as a first-time candidate. I have not done this before. I'm here to network. I'm here to meet people and try to learn as much as I can. But I think our focus is what wins us the race in November.
Right.
It's not getting sidetracked by all the stupid issues they're going to try to throw at us, to try to, just throw crap at the wall.
Right.
And, or flood the field, as they say.
Yeah, flood the zone.
We flood the zone. We have to stop that from being a distraction, and we have to focus on the things that are most important. And so our focus is going to win us the race.
What do you think those things are, particular to your district?
So in my district, affordability, which I actually just throw right in there with healthcare. I think healthcare is one of the most unaffordable things we have in this nation. And so making healthcare affordable makes everything more affordable. And then data centers have just been incredibly important, and we have to put a full moratorium on data centers until we have the impact studies to show what they do to the community, to the agriculture, and the state at large.
Right. The data center thing has been very, very super hot topic. Texas Tribune out, I think, just this morning with there are something on the order of 230, 240 of them that are planned and are happening, being built. They're going to come online.
Yeah.
That, it almost feels like a genie that's already out of the bottle to a certain degree.
And AI is that, right?
Yeah.
We can't put that genie back in the bottle, but we can stop it from having such a negative adverse effect on us as Texans.
Right.
And as the country.
Right.
If they don't go to Texas, they're going to go somewhere else and hurt our country. So
right.
we have to stop that on a federal basis.
Tell us about the incumbent and what's his deal?
Jake Ellzey, he's just a MAGA blowhard. He's not the bad guy that some of our Republican incumbents are, but he votes 100% with Trump. So
right.
he does exactly what he's told. When he's asked to jump, he asks how high,
right.
and that means that he is doing our people in Texas a disservice.
Right, and that's there's a distinct difference on the conservative side that we hope folks of that stripe who might have happened upon this material.
Yeah.
That if you voted for Cornyn, for example, voting for Jake Ellzey is not a vote in that direction; it's a vote in the other direction.
Pretty much.
So yeah.
Yeah. He has never said a negative thing about how he's been told to vote.
Right.
And he votes against our district all the time. I mean, when you're voting to close rural hospitals, and we have several rural hospitals in our district, when you're voting against SNAP benefits, and we have a lot of people on SNAP benefits,
right.
and we have to protect our vulnerable. We don't do that. Just a week after he voted against SNAP benefits, he was out putting food from a food bank in people's car, and I'm like, you're the reason why they're getting this food. This
right.
is not what leadership looks like.
Right. Hard questions for that guy to be presented with when you have an opportunity. Right. So as we close, last little message to the voters in your district and what to look for between here and November.
Well, I'm Danny Minton. Website is DannyMinton.com, DannyMinton.com. We have troops on the ground. We are ready to go. I love the volunteers, love the donations, and I think we have a really strong chance of winning and pulling a huge upset in November.
Very good. Texas Democratic Convention, Corpus Christi, Texas continues. Danny, great to meet you.
Thank you. Very
awesome.
Nice to meet you, too.
You too. All right, here we go. Once again, Corpus Christi, Texas, and the Texas Democratic Party Convention for 2026. Exciting times for sure. We are back here with Josh Wallenstein, who we met for the first time at the Harris County Convention.
That's true.
In Houston, at the University of Houston. He's back, and what's happened since then?
Oh, my gosh. So literally more and more. Am I a little loud?
No, you want to be louder. There you go.
More and more excitement. I can't tell you how much we are pulsating blue in this. You can smell victory. It's literally so close.
It smells blue in this place.
It smells. Whatever that sounds like to you is probably what it smells like to you. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's the sweet smell of freedom is what it is, and victory. Smells like victory. That was napalm though. That's different.
Well, it's better than Teen Spirit.
Yeah, exactly. We are meandering off into tangents
yes.
at this point. Let's talk real quick. Refresh the folks who may have met you through our airwaves back. That was in March. When was
it? It was in March. And March was Harris County during the runoffs and during the primary season.
Right.
Now we are done. Now we have our slate. We have an incredible slate. Their slate, we could not run against a better slate. Their slate is literally like the Antichrist and the fascist, and we have the seminarian.
Yeah, it sucks.
Side. Oh, it's amazing.
Their slate sucks. Let's just put it out there.
And it sucks.
Absolutely. Yeah. Talk about your district in particular.
Yeah.
And what those folks need.
So this is West Houston. This is literally the only almost non-gerrymandered district in Houston, because until recently it kind of leaned conservative. It's a big box. It's West Houston from the Energy Corridor to the Galleria, from I-10 down to Westheimer. It's got some conservatives, but the conservatives and the liberals and the independents and the non-voters are sick of everything. They're sick of their public schools sucking and being taken over. They're sick of costs continually rising, infrastructure continually failing, and the sense that, honestly, their kids are not going to have a better future than they had when they were kids.
Yeah, imagine being okay with that.
No, nobody's okay with that, and everybody's ready for change, and there's one party to vote out because there's one party that's been in power for 3 decades.
That's right. So James Tallarico, tons of excitement at the top of the ticket. Message to the folks who are fired up to show up to vote for James, but don't know much about what's going on below him. Why is it important to go ahead and finish out that ballot?
James is a phenom, and he's incredibly impressive, and I hope to God we get him in the Senate. What affects you day to day is what comes out of Austin, Texas. What affects you from your personal lives, your taxes, the cost of living, the regulations that are imposed or not upon you, come from Austin, not from D.C. And so if you want to change the high cost of living, the bad quality of your infrastructure and your education, and the non-affordability of your health care, it has to come from Austin. So the State House is where it matters. 14 seats, and we flip the State House. 14 seats separates us from freedom.
Let's focus on that a second. Yeah. I mean, I think most people assume that it's a much broader margin than that.
Most people do, and so not only are we very close, all we have to do is vote, and we've shown that we can. We are shattered records for primary turnout, shattered records for midterms. Taylor Remmett, who is a blue union engineer, flipped 32 points like that in a supposedly blood red district, but it's blood red because we don't come out until now because we're fed up.
Right.
So let's vote.
Right, absolutely. So we try to focus lately on particular results. For example, Gina Hinojosa becomes governor. The school board situation, the TEH situation, takeovers and all that stuff changes real fast. Vicki Goodwin becomes lieutenant governor, for example. That's when maybe there's going to be some legal weed around here, possibly, because Dan Patrick's out of the way.
That's right.
Talk about the immediate, intrinsic, palpable sort of actual concrete changes that would come about with a flip of the a flip of the Texas House to Democratic control.
Well, I think you'd see an immediate infusion of resources to public schools.
Yep.
You'd see an immediate retraction of the takeovers because they're not doing anybody good, and everybody who's been taken over, including my district, knows it and are voting against it. You would see an immediate increase in insured people because we would finally take back the money that is owed us from the federal government to insure our kids.
Medicaid.
We would invest in our future instead of data centers.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are things I think really important messages to get across to people. It's not just RVD, team sport sort of stuff. It's about actual changes and actual improvements.
Well, it's also really scary because if we don't change it, we will have Bibles in our public schools.
Yep.
We will be outlawing IVF. The things that you couldn't believe would actually be coming down the pipeline are coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, absolutely. So one final message as we wrap up to the folks in the district.
I can't feel more excited about this season. I can't feel more optimistic and hopeful, which I didn't before, but now I do. Seeing all of us united, all of us from all sorts, all across the spectrum, are supporting change, and we can make this happen if only we come out and do this together and vote for a better Texas. We can do this.
Awesome. Josh Wallenstein running for the Texas House out of Houston. Awesome.
Thank you, Chris, so much.
Thanks for seeing you. Awesome.
You're awesome, too.
Thanks for coming by.
Yay!